All right. Yeah, I thought I'd do some non-music today. I feel a bit knackered and a bit, do you know what I mean? So I just feel like, yeah. But this atheist versus Christian, hilarious debate. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being? Good point. There is still a missing link with the whole evolution thing. Um, but yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson. Someone commented because I was doing them like ages ago, and someone commented on them the other day and said, "Oh, you should have carried on with Jesse Lee Peterson. He's hilarious." And to be honest, I didn't stop on purpose. It's just that other things took over the channel, really. Um, but then someone commented that, and this come up, so I thought, well, it's fate. So yeah, it's Jesse Lee Peterson is the Christian, and then this guy who does look very satanic, to be honest. Like he's what I'd imagine the devil would look like. But yeah, let's go.
You wrote a book called
Jesus.
We Are All Apes.
That's correct.
Where's your proof that we are all apes?
What is an ape?
Right, what is the ape?
Right. An ape is any member of the taxonomic superfamily Hominoidea.
Amazing. Have you ever seen a human being turn into you ever seen an ape? Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Have I ever seen a dog turn into a dachshund?
No, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Have I ever seen a car turn into a Corvette?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, have I ever seen a shark turn into a fish?
I didn't ask about any of those things. I asked, when have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
I'm trying to illustrate the fallacy of your question.
How's that fallacy? You wrote that we're all ape. You must have.
And we are.
You
and
must
that book,
have at some point all these hundreds and
right,
thousands of years. At some point, you would have seen if an ape turned into a human being. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Once again, humans are apes in the same way that a duck is a bird. So if you ask me if I've ever seen a bird turn into a duck, that's kind of a stupid question.
Because I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I asked you. I asked you. Ask. Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
That is a nonsense question.
Why?
Because it's like asking for a place halfway between Los Angeles and California.
No, it's not. I didn't ask about that.
I know. Well, you don't know what you asked.
I do know.
The thing is, and this is why the right always wins in debates, because Jesse's keep going back to that same question, and the answer is no. But he don't want to say no. Like, have you seen no? Or he should say yes, but he can't say yes. So he's going on, have I ever seen a car become a Corvette? It's like, well, yeah, we've seen that. Like, we've seen the old cars, the little boop boops with no roof and no doors and windows and shit, and then we've seen them what they are now. But also, that's someone making it happen. Same with the dog. The dog breeds are invented by us, by breeding. But yeah, let's carry on.
This book called We Are All Apes.
And it gives the proof
I'm
in the book.
asking, have you personally seen a human being, an ape turn into a human being?
It would be impossible for a human being to be anything other than an ape, for the same reason that it is impossible for a dachshund to be anything but a dog. Have you ever seen a dog turn into a dachshund?
Why are you running from that question?
I'm not. I'm answering question. I'm illustrating.
No, you're running. You're running from that question. You wrote this book that we are apes.
I'm facing you head on, answering your question directly.
No, you're not.
Humans are a subset of the category of apes.
I didn't ask you that.
We start out
you
apes.
how
we can't. So therefore, it makes no sense to ask how the parent category turns into the subcategory. It is exactly the same as asking if I've ever seen a bird turn into a duck. Do you understand why your question? Have you ever seen a bird turn into a duck? How about I ask you that question?
But that wasn't the question.
But that's the same question, isn't it?
You wrote the book saying we are. You tried to divert. You tried to deviate from the question. And you wrote a book called "We Are All Apes." And so how can you write a book that says we're all apes when you've never seen an ape turn into a human being?
Have you ever seen a duck turn into a? Have you ever seen a bird turn into a duck?
Why are you dodging the question, man?
I'm not dodging the question. I'm answering it.
No, you're not. It's like when I asked you if you love a Christian, you went all around. I answered that question. I asked you where you going. You tell me where you been.
And I answered your question directly.
No, you didn't. You're not answering this.
Yes, I did.
So one more time with that, and then we have to move on.
You don't understand what the word ape means. That's why I'm trying to explain it to you.
Have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
Okay, let's look at that. What does the word ape mean? That means a bipedal hominoid with a certain number of hair follicles, with a certain type of teeth, with fingerprints and fingernails. That means all of these descriptive features that we share. Have I ever seen us turn into us?
You just use the word, but you're not making sense, because I do want to know.
You don't know anything at all about taxonomy whatsoever. So how can I explain?
So you're not able to answer that question.
Who doesn't know anything about it.
So you're not able to answer that question.
Well, who was it? Was it Einstein that said, if you can't explain something to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it yourself?
I want to do a follow-up.
Do you understand that the word ape is a taxonomic question, right? That's a taxonomic word. Do you understand what it means?
No, that's not the question, though. You're deviating.
No, I'm not deviating. What does the word
ape
mean?
If you prove to me that you've seen an ape turn into a human being,
what does the word ape mean?
Word can mean many things. But let me ask you this.
But this word means one thing. What does it mean?
I have no idea.
It means any member of the taxonomic superfamily Hominoidea, which means that it has a number of these characteristics: fingernails and fingerprints, the certain type of dentition that we have, the certain type of ears that we have. All of these characters, the two pectoral mammae, etc. There's a whole long list of different physical characteristics that define what an ape is.
Okay, so fine. I don't care about the humanity, but what I do want to know, I do want to know if you ever seen an ape.
Ask me a nonsense question.
I want to know, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being? After all these years, you would have think that somebody, somewhere, somehow, would have seen an ape turn into a human being, and no one has ever seen that.
It's the Cat Williams thing, isn't it? When Cat Williams says, when people say humans come from monkeys, he's like, then why is there still monkeys then? What are they, the retarded humans that didn't, they're the retarded monkeys that didn't quite turn into humans yet?
You're asking a question that makes no sense.
Even the people books that you have read and the folks that you listen to have never seen that.
Are we done here? Because you're not going to listen to my explanation. You're asking me
because you're not answering my question.
I am answering your question.
You're going around my question.
You don't understand what it means.
You're going around my question. You're not answering my question.
I did not go around your question.
You did. I asked you, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
You don't know what the word ape means.
I don't care about the word. I do know what it means. I'm asking you.
Okay, then tell me, what does the word ape mean?
I asked you, have you ever seen an ape turn into a human being?
You're using these words. I want to know what you think these words mean, because I know what the words mean.
The one thing I know for sure.
Yeah, I know for sure what
I know for sure.
And I can prove
that
what the words mean, but you
and no one has ever seen.
Using them incorrectly. What does the word ape mean to you?
You and those people who are claiming that apes turn into human beings, or human beings came from apes.
I don't claim that apes turn into human beings. We are
that human being came from apes. I have no proof of that
can't be anything other than an ape. We are classified as apes.
You're not listening.
Oh no, you're not listening.
No, you're not listening.
Okay. All right, so is that where we're going to be here?
No.
Are we done?
No.
You either learn how to have the communication both ways, or we're done here.
You have to learn how to answer a question.
I did answer the question.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not answer the question.
No sense.
Let me ask.
I explained to you why the question makes no sense.
He's trying to be smart, but it's not working for him. Because it's like, yeah, you can attach any word to a group of things that, like, but you understand what Jesse is getting at. You're saying that we was all apes. Where's your evidence that we are all apes? Not just saying, well, we are apes because we're not apes. Right? Otherwise, we'd be called apes. We're not apes. We do things and have things that apes don't have. Opposable thumb. We're also not as strong as they are. You'd have thought that would have been evolutionary beneficial for humans to keep the strength from monkeys. Even the tail. How useful would a tail be when you're coming in with all your bags of shopping and your keys? You go, my keys in my pocket. Pop your tail out, get the keys in the door. Do you know what I mean? Why would we lose that? Like,
seen a bird turn into a duck? Does that question make any sense to you?
Right, just like, have you ever seen a ape
do you understand that all birds are ducks?
As dumb as that.
Do you understand that ducks are birds?
That question is as dumb as the question about apes.
What you asked me is a dumbass question. I'm trying to show you how dumbass it is. Do you understand that ducks are
Did you say dumbass?
Birds? Do you understand that ducks are birds?
Did you say dumbass? What?
Yes.
Let me ask you this.
Do you understand that ducks are birds?
You believe in evolution, right?
I don't believe in it, no. I can show it, demonstrate it, prove it even to you. Do you understand that ducks are birds?
Why do you believe in evolution
because I can prove it
if no one has ever seen it?
But we have seen it.
No,
yes,
you haven't.
We've relied on it throughout the entire history of
No one has ever seen it.
It is demonstrated fact. We can observe it. We can test it, verify it numerous ways. I can prove that even to you.
So why is evolution?
So that you can understand this.
Why is evolution
Do you understand?
Why is evolution just a theory even today?
Why is it that atomic theory is just a theory?
See, you're not answering the question. You're asking the question with another crazy question.
Why is it the theory of gravity is just a theory today?
Why is evolution still considered a theory?
For the same reason that atomic theory is still considered a theory, for the same reason that the theory of gravity is still a theory, for the same reason that the germ theory of disease is still a theory.
So because it can't be proven to be real.
Because there is a rule in science that we want to go the complete opposite direction of religion, and rather than assert things to be true that are not true, we are not allowed to proclaim absolute truth. So everything that we know to be true has to be regarded as a.
But he just said he can categorically prove that evolution is true. So how can you not say, like, he's having a what's the word? Semantics debate, whereas, do you know what I mean? The answer that he's looking for is no. It's the same as that. The time, if we did come from monkeys, the time frame of that that happening would be a lot longer than 100,000 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot longer ago. Which would mean that humans, or what would become human, has been around for billions of years, but they wouldn't have that either. But that's the only way that evolution could be real, which I actually do think, because they found like footprints that are the exact same as us, not monkey footprints, human footprints. And when they go back to, as well, there's another thing. When there's like, it's something like, when 97 point whatever genetically the same, in that 1 point whatever, there's billions of differences between us, billions of differences. But yeah, let's go.
Theory on the hypothetical potential, at least, that something could be improved or changed later on.
That's amazing.
There is a rule.
Because of time, let me ask you this.
There is a rule in science that you cannot prove.
You're talking theory.
There's a rule in science. I'm answering your question.
But you're talking theory.
I'm answering the question, and you won't let me answer it. There is a rule in science that says that you cannot prove any theory to be true in the positive sense. At most, the most you can do is show them.
I know scientists who have proved that God exists, and I know those who are against God, and they think that God doesn't exist.
No, you don't.
But let me ask you, because of time,
you don't know.
I do know. I know scientists who have proved that God exists.
You don't.
I do.
No, you
yes.
don't. Then where is their Nobel Prize? Why have I not heard of them? Why are there still atheists? Why is the majority of the scientific community still atheist?
Because
if
the Nobel Prize
people had ever proved that God existed, then we would all know that God exists. No, you don't know. Any scientist.
Yes, I do.
And you can't show documentation.
Let me say this to you. You asked why there are no Nobel Peace Prize for.
If all you're going to do is lie to me.
You ask why there are Nobel Peace.
And that's apparently all you're going to do.
You ask why aren't there any
meaningful conversation.
You ask why are there any Nobel Peace Prize for the scientists who have proven God exists?
That's not what I said
because the people who hand out.
I called you out. You told a lie.
The people who
said that there were scientists who proved that God exists.
Say, hold on.
There is no scientist. There is no.
Say, get behind me. Hold on.
No scientist has ever done that. If that had happened,
let me say this to you.
Buckets of documentation.
Let me say that the reason that
would have gotten the Nobel Prize and the Templeton.
The same as it's been these sorts of people that have been saying there's no such thing as aliens, and now, like, do you know what I mean? America's admitted it. Russia admitted it ages ago. Like, governments are coming out and saying, "Yeah, we know there's aliens," but for years, in my whole life, you'd be looked at as a moron if you believed in aliens. But now, it's an accepted fact, basically.
They'd be world famous.
Fine. The reason that the scientists who prove that God
there is no science to prove God exists
doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize because the people who are handing out the Nobel Peace Prize are of their father, the devil. So they hate the children of God.
There is no devil either. Okay, I think we're done here.
No, we not quite yet. Almost. Notice that atheists tend to lean more toward the left more than toward the right. Why is that?
That's not true for a lot of cases. I'm sorry to say.
I said most, not all, but why is that?
Because a lot of us care more about truth than others, and that's that.
But the left is of the lie.
What's that?
The left is of the lie. They're of their father, the devil.
No, that itself, what you just said, is a lie.
Why is that?
Because it's documented false. It's factually false.
I have proof. Why would a man that is left like you try to turn anyone away from God? If you don't believe that there is a God, you work all the time to turn people away from God.
That are nonsense. You keep making assertions that are factually false.
You said you have helped
things about myself that are wrong.
You said that you have helped Christians, those who believe in God, turn away from Him.
All right. What would you like me to do? Would you like me to just sit here and let you lie to me?
No, I got to put you on the hot seat. I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. Moreover, no one knows when their hour will come. As fish are caught in a cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so people are trapped by evil times that fall unexpectedly upon them. However many years anyone may live, let them enjoy them all. But let them remember the days of darkness, for there will be many. You, who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, and whatever your eyes see, hidden thing.
Well, yeah, that was a hell of a lot of talking over each other. But he didn't, because then he went on to say things like, on one hand, he said that he can prove it. Then he said science has a rule that you can't say that this is the truth, but they do say that's the truth. I was taught that in school. This is the truth. Like, evolution is the truth. Yeah. Yeah. See, to me, where God has most, like, I watch a lot of things of ex-criminals from this country, like podcasts and like people like Paul Ferris from Scotland. Um, there's loads of them, and to me, them type of people's finding God is where God has the most value. And I've said it before in a video I did about it. The science can't do that. The, I'm not saying like religion is all good, but if you take a man like Paul Ferris who's cut people's throats, scalped people, um, shot people, had people killed, whatever he's been up to, do you know what I mean? Lived a life of crime and causing nothing but pain. To then, I think Paul Ferris even said he heard a voice in his cell, and that he never believed in God because he thought, well, why don't God just show himself to us? It's like, but then you haven't got the faith. You're meant to have put your faith in God. Um, and that's how he looked at it. But yeah, that's to me where like God has the most value. Now maybe that's just because it's kind of a closer thing to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I grew up around people that are bad, but for them, like the worst of the worst to change their life and start doing good, whether you believe in God or not, you have to see that there's value in that. But yeah, yeah, he did say a whole lot of words because he didn't want to say no. Because the thing is, he started going on about, well, what about it's like arguing with your girlfriend when you say, look, you did this and it annoyed me. And instead of going, oh, sorry, they go, well, what about 2 weeks ago when you did this? And you're like, well, why didn't you bring that up before? Instead of like, do you know what I mean? It was a bit like that. He was going off on things when he should have just said no. And to be honest, you can play the same game back. Did you ever see Jesus turn water into wine? No. Did you see Jesus rise from the dead? No. Did you see Jesus get put on a cross? No. Like, he could have done that. He could have sat there and said, no, I haven't seen a monkey turn into a human. No, I haven't. And then at the end said, I've got some questions for you, and just done the same thing back. But yeah. But then also when you do attack people's beliefs, people become their beliefs. Instead of having their beliefs as something, yeah, their beliefs have them rather than they have their beliefs. And when you attack them beliefs, it is like you're attacking them as a person. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, because that's the truth of it, right? Whether you believe in it, in God, or don't, the fact of the matter is, the answer to that question is no. You haven't seen that, basically. But ain't we like 48% genetically the same as a carrot? If you're going to live on this planet, you're going to have to be kind of genetically the same to survive. You're going to need to have kind of the same gizmos. But yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts. Sweet.